Hey y'all, today I'm going to talk about perfection. And I found it's an idea that's been kind of bouncing around in my head. And I found that going for a walk actually really helps me gel those ideas or let my brain work on problems that I've been kind of tossing over, but never really landing on a solution or a course of action. And with perfection, it's something that comes up a lot for me when I'm talking about clothes or sharing my outfits or talking about jackets or whatever, and people comment about, oh, it's the perfect fit, or this or that could be different, or I like that, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for because of this or that, or really about anything that I post. And perfection comes up a lot. It's really one of the most common compliments that people will give when it comes to outfits or say leather jackets. Oh, it's a perfect fit, man. Good job. Way to go. And really, the first big thing that I want to share about perfection is that perfection is not like a one and done kind of thing. It's not, I did it. Perfection is a pursuit. People actually say the pursuit of perfection. It's a process, it's something that's ongoing. It's not just one and done, really. Well, rarely. I mean, it can happen, but it would generally require either extraordinary luck or research or talent or all three of those things combined. So in general, like, if you're looking for that perfect thing, maybe don't expect to get it the first time. Have some reasonable expectations for yourself and about how it works looking for those great things. And if you're looking at Instagram or YouTube or whatever and admiring someone's outfit and how they style it and how it looks on them, consider that this is probably not the first time that they wore that jacket. Maybe it wasn't the first jacket they got. Maybe they got something and then sold it and then got something and then sold it. Ba-boom, 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 over and over again. I mean, my recent like Vanson size try-ons is a good example. It took me 2 tries to find a fit that I thought was great, that still people had comments about it wasn't quite right or not what they would do or whatever, whatever, whatever. So when you are trying to find that perfect thing, just know you're going to have to give it some time, probably. Effort, money, continued attempts, that kind of thing. There's someone coming on their bike. I'm trying to keep them out of the camera. So the other part is be careful who you're comparing yourself to. Because what may seem like overnight success is often the result of many attempts and iterations. And you can't just judge someone's process by seeing the end result. And you shouldn't judge your process by the first step or the second one. And you can gather as much information as you'd like and still not get it right. And that's okay. That's kind of to be expected and should be expected. So set your expectations accordingly. You know, it's tough maybe because there's a lot of money involved when it comes to leather jackets or these other heritage items that you're taking a risk. But I mean, risk is inherent in all things. You just got to kind of roll with it. The kind of wrapped in that is also this idea that you just kind of got to start. Oftentimes, trying to find perfection can be something that can be paralyzing. You can feel like you can't make the right move, so you got to keep gathering information or knowledge until the right move becomes apparent. Well, at a certain point, the right move is just acting. And that time to act is probably sooner than a natural perfectionist would expect it to be. So just get off the fence and go for it. And you could gather information from lots of different sources. You could ask me questions. You could ask a forum's worth of people questions. And everyone will share their own experiences. But they won't be your experience. And so you really won't know how something works for you until you try it. And that's just kind of got to get off the fence, guys. Got to do it. There's a lot of just do it or just start or just go for it advice on YouTube and in self-help books. I mean, I guess there's a reason, because ultimately you have to have your own experience of the thing to determine how it will work for you. So, yeah, the pursuit of perfection. A few complications there along the way, right? Now, the second idea that I really want to talk about, aside from that pursuit and the fact that it's a process, is you got to know when to turn it off. Like, pursuing perfection can be great, and you can work on that process and find great things. But sometimes the effort to go from something that is 90% there, like really great, but not quite perfect in some way, the effort is too much. It sometimes closing that last little gap, you could expend so much time and resources. I mean, really specifically money here, but also your attention and time spent scoping out eBay listings or talking to sellers or makers or whatever, trying to find just the right thing. When you know that thing that's like mostly there is actually really great and good enough by like any standard, and really no one except for maybe you would notice. And you know what? Maybe you 2 or 3 months from now won't even notice that difference once you disengage that constantly seeking for perfection thing. So it's a kind of a bit of a catch-22, like realizing it's a process, but then also knowing when to kind of step away from that process once you've engaged it. And, you know, maybe it's something where you set a goal, or if we're talking fashion here, right? Because we talk about leather jackets a lot on this channel. Maybe there's one particular style you want to get just right. You want to get that perfect biker jacket. Well, okay, good. Allow yourself to get truly the perfect thing with that. Really go all out, go ham on it, hit 100%. But, you know, maybe for certain other items in your wardrobe, you could go for good enough. And in that way, save yourself that time and that money. And what you may find is if you're not able to do this, if you're not able to turn off that process, you're basically going to be setting yourself up for dissatisfaction in all things forever, which sounds horrible. It is horrible. You have to be willing to accept good enough sometimes, or you just may never be happy. What a tough thing, you know? So those are the two big thoughts for perfection here in this context of fashion here, leather jackets in particular. It's a process, and sometimes good enough is actually what you need, not perfection. And just a little kind of aside here that popped in my mind while I'm walking, which is the beauty of going for a walk. Maybe my favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies, top 3 or top 5 for sure, is The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. Incredible movie if you haven't seen it. It's got Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale in leading roles, and a variety of other really awesome actors in it. And, you know, as you'd expect from a Christopher Nolan movie, just incredible production and some interesting twists along the way. And at the core of the conceit of the movie is this idea of obsession and pursuing something without regards for the consequences of trying to find that perfect thing, kind of. So if you've seen that movie, I think you could take maybe the lessons that come from that a bit and apply it here. Or if you haven't, you should go watch it. It's incredible. Anyways, thank y'all for joining me on this walk. And what are you pursuing to perfection? I'd love to hear about it. Have a good one.